Hey dancers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Claudia and if you're new here, then welcome. So today I have a very interesting video. It's basically I have two pairs of pointe shoes right here, and basically Block have also given me their pointe shoe paint. So there's new paint that's specifically to paint pointe shoes, which I think is pretty cool. So basically they asked if I could paint a few pairs, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. So there's all different colors. So you know how those makeup gurus, they do chit chat get ready with me? I was thinking of calling this chit chat paint pointe shoes with me. So I literally have a few different topics that you've all sent me that you really want me to talk about. Some are personal, some are more ballet related. So if you want to tune in and watch this video, then subscribe and let's get straight into it. So first I'm going to tell you all the different colors that the pointe paint comes in. So this one's indigo. This one is aqua. Oh, I'm definitely going to use that one. Okay, I'm going to put my favorites to the side because I think I'm only going to paint 4 different colors. Okay, so aqua is definitely going to be one of them. Chai, Victoria Page red. Okay, we definitely have to do a red, so I'm going to put that aside. Ooh, black. Oh, that'd be pretty cool, actually. I might do the black one because I think a few of you will want to see that. Orchid, Dahlia. Oh, is that pink? Oh, okay, so there's pink and purple, and I've got 5 of my favorites. I think I'm just going to use 5 and probably do half a shoe pink, half a shoe purple, because why not? Okay, so a while back on my Instagram when I was talking to the camera, I asked you all what topics you'd like me to talk about when I film this particular video of painting pointe shoes, and here's some random topics. So someone said you could talk about your view on the ballet body because a lot of us feel limited because of our different body types and shapes. So what do you think about it? So I'm gonna get started first of all on, this is Balanced European. I think these are dancers from the Australian Ballet Company's pointe shoes. I think that's correct. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool too. So the first color, let's go for aqua because I was so obsessed with that. Now I'll talk about the dancer's body in a second. I'm just gonna get this all sorted. Okay, now I feel like I should have a tea towel or something down because at the moment all I've got is my parquet floor. I probably should put something down, just wait. Okay, let's get painting. Chit chat, get ready with me. So, right, let's see how we're gonna work this. So basically, oh my God, this is so cool. Look at that. You literally, oh, yes. So basically dancers, if you need to paint your shoes all different colors, here's your answer. This is so cool. Okay, so who's excited? Because I'm really excited. So basically the dancer's body. You know what, with this whole dancer's body topic, I always think that if you work correctly, you create a dancer's body. So if you're doing the right amount of hours for your body in particular, because everyone is so different, and you're working correctly in class, then I always feel like naturally you're gonna create a dancer's body. You know what, this is the other thing, like what really is a dancer's body? Because so many different companies want different things. I won't actually name companies, but you've got so many different companies around the world, you know, in Europe, in America, and they all want different things. That's why I think you really just have to aim to be the best version of you. And I think everyone in themselves, they know when they're not the best version of themselves. Like I know exactly when perhaps, oh, this is actually turning blue. That is so cool. So I know when I have to amp up my exercise when I don't feel amazing because my body doesn't look or feel that way. And I think everyone knows in themselves. It's sort of a tough topic because you just have to really be the best version of you. And you've got to remember that along the way, your body's going to change. So when I first joined the Royal Ballet School, for example, I was like a little string bean, you know, I was so tiny. And it was because I was training a lot. Your body as a little girl has to turn into a woman's body. So you're going to get hips, you're going to get breasts, you're going to get a bottom. Like that's just a natural occurrence for a dancer. And I think if any dancer goes into this thinking that they're going to stay the way they were when they were 13 up until they're 18, honestly, that's being unrealistic. Like you have to know that your body along the way is going to change, and that is totally normal, and it's meant to. It has to. As long as I said, as long as you feel like you're the best version of yourself always, and you know, with eating and diet, Another thing is too, like you want to obviously eat healthy because it makes you feel better too. It's not just that it makes you look better, it makes you feel better. So that's why I'm a really big believer in balance, because I feel that if you have a little bit of everything and everything in moderation, you honestly can't really go wrong because your body's getting a little bit of everything. That's sort of my take on the whole dancer's body. I just feel that everyone's so different, and as long as you're feeling amazing in yourself, then that's the main thing. I have to hold this up higher so you can all see. Okay. Oh, that's so pretty. This color, I actually love it. It reminds me of the color that we've just launched in our tropical collection, Treasure. It really reminds me of that color. It's actually so stunning, one of my favorites. Look at that, everyone. So you can paint your shoes blue, aqua, whatever color you want. So cool. Okay, so this dry, and I haven't spilt anything either, so that's great. And then I'll show you all after what they will look like. Okay, and I'm gonna go into black. I think that's gonna be really cool. So a topic that you want me to talk about is, how do you handle a mean or sarcastic teacher? How did you get on with it when you were a student? It is my first year in a professional academy and I'm struggling with this a lot. Oh, so a whole heap of water just came out. It's all good, just wait. It's all good. All right, here we go. Love this. So yeah, mean sarcastic teachers. Look, you know one thing that I need to say about teaching and teachers, I just feel like teachers don't get anywhere from being sarcastic or mean. You know, when I step in the studio with a student, I know I'm gonna get the best out of that student if I push them in a positive way. And I think that's why my coaching and YouTube and Instagram, I think that's why you all want to be a part of it, because it's so different, I guess, to have someone in this world where they're really trying to take on a positive approach. I think the dance world, for some reason, it become very negative. And, you know, I hear a lot of things of what goes on behind the scenes, which, you know, it does really scare me. And the minute I do hear of a student that is going through struggle, I tell them to change their environment, because trust me, it's very, very hard to succeed if your teacher is not in your corner. So if you feel like, you know, your teacher is sarcastic and is mean, you know, obviously there could be two angles to it. They could be trying to, you know, make you a better dancer, but that's their way and approach. I'm not sure why, but that's what they want to achieve. Or there could be another angle where there's obviously something in themselves that's very bitter and is eating at them, and that's why they feel like they've got to take it out on young kids. So I think moving forward from these types of teachers is knowing in yourself that every single exercise you do, whether it's from the corner, on the bar, or it's a solo or a variation, I think you've got to become very clever at correcting yourself and take on everything the teacher says in a group scenario and try and always adapt that onto yourself. And I think if you've got your own set of corrections that you can go into the classroom with and go, right, today's the day that I'm going to focus on my turnout, or focus on keeping my thumbs in, or focus on, you know, there's all different things you can focus on. I think if you have your own set of goals, then mean, sarcastic, negative teachers shouldn't really affect you too much, because at the end of the day, in a career in ballet, you have to have very thick skin. So I've been around all types of teachers, trust me, all types of teachers. And I have to say, I learnt the most when I just went into the classroom and knew what I had to do myself. I've got to hold this up higher. Look at this. When you know what you've got to do yourself, then it's a lot easier to progress that way, because otherwise having all those negative comments and sarcastic comments constantly will start to affect your dancing. So it won't only affect you as a person, but it will then shine through in your dancing. So use it as a time to become stronger, use it as a time to learn and to realize that, you know, one day when you are in a company, you probably won't have any teacher correcting you. So it's a perfect opportunity to learn more about yourself and go, right, these are the areas that I've got to work on, and really just be very self-driven in that time. But I know how hard it is. I'm not sure, as I said, I'm not sure why teachers try to create an environment that is negative, something that I'm extremely against, but it happens way too often. But as I said, I'm trying to change that for you all, and yeah, constantly trying to change the dance world so it turns into a more positive place. Okay, someone else has asked, what is the life of a professional like? What are the daily struggles? and what's your routine? So I'll talk about the struggles first because I feel like that's the most interesting. I think the biggest struggle is like what I was saying before, that in a company you don't actually get a lot of feedback. So when you're there, you're really in it for yourself, and I think a lot of the time, like in schools, you really rely off your teacher's constant feedback and constant encouragement. If you've got a brilliant teacher that will encourage you, or you rely off that as a child because that's how you're going to learn, that's how you're going to grow. Yes, you need their support constantly as a child, and obviously when you get into a professional environment, you're no longer a child anymore, you're a full-grown adult and it's a job, so it's up to you to succeed in that profession. So I really found it a shock actually initially when I went in there. You know, just in like a daily ballet class, for example, you don't get any corrections, so no corrections whatsoever. There might be like one general correction for everyone, but otherwise there's no personalized corrections. It's just totally different. And when you get cast to do a solo, you might get a little bit of coaching on it, but it's really just up to you to look good on stage. So that's probably the biggest thing that I found. This is the end of my black point shoot, so I haven't filled in like a lot of the gaps. Okay, it's not 100% perfect, but you get the idea. Like, how amazing is this paint? Love it. So obviously if you want it perfect, you definitely could do that. You could achieve it, but as I said, I'm just sort of whizzing through these today just to show you. It's up to you to look good on stage. So the ball is totally in your court. And I think that was probably one of the biggest shocks initially because it's all up to you. But then in a way after that, it becomes really good because you know if you've achieved something, it's because of your genuine hard work. So that's also, you know, a plus side too. Probably the other thing that I found really hard is casting, because you have no control over if you're going to dance or not. So you could join a company, which is fabulous, but then you know what, you look at the first cast sheet and you're literally not dancing, like you're standing at the side holding someone's sword. Like, that is what company life is usually like when you first join. And I think that for me was really hard because I came from the school where I was dancing non-stop, like doing all their main roles, and all of a sudden I had to change this environment where I was at literally the bottom of the ranks. So for me, that was definitely difficult, and you sort of get to this point where you're just not sure like what you can actually do to prove yourself, and it soon falls into place, and you know, you'll randomly get an opportunity that will then just snowball into another opportunity. So I think that for me was probably the tough part. The daily routine, okay, I'm just going to paint this. I think this one's pink. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, it's pink. I'm going to go into another topic now. So someone said, we know so much about your we know so much about your ballet professional life, but nothing outside of that. Maybe you could talk about siblings, partner, other things that make you happy, things you do to stay motivated, focused, ways to help relax you. Okay, if you don't want to share this side of you, but I'd be interested to know. Okay, that's actually a really good question. So I am one of 3 kids. I have a younger sister who is my personal assistant, Simona, and she's amazing. I'm very, very close with my brother and sister, and my brother is called Elliot, and we all live in Brisbane. My brother is a really successful real estate agent, and I think I could probably say is my biggest inspiration actually, because he really from a young age has always motivated me, and I've always seen the things that he's achieved and always looked at him and gone, wow, like you're following something you're so passionate about, and it's led him to really amazing things. So yep, Elliot, you're my inspiration. And then also I obviously have my father Robert, and he and my brother own their business together, so it's a real estate business together. And fun fact, if you didn't know, I actually worked for them initially when I got back from the Royal Ballet. I was their PA for, I think it was like 6 months until I started coaching. So yeah, I've sort of done a bit of everything. Also, as I said, I also have my father and then my beautiful mother, who everything I do to this day, I just dedicate to my mum. And I have a partner called Lachlan, and we've been together for 4 years now. He's literally the other half of me. I don't really share a lot of my personal life with you all yet, but I'm happy to. It's just that Lachlan, you know, doesn't always love to be in front of the camera talking, like he's sort of a bit more private than me. But I literally met him the first weekend I got back from London. So it was just like meant to be. It was so bizarre, but we were just like best friends and we clicked immediately. So yeah, I couldn't do any of the things that I do now without him. Like he constantly constantly inspires me and motivates me. Like, yeah, if I had to say who motivates me the most, I'd probably say Lachlan, because, you know, you have to understand, like, running a business and with what I do, although it all looks really glamorous and amazing, it is, but the pressure on me is a lot, okay? Sometimes it can get really hard, like it has its tough moments. Lachlan, he always just reminds me that I'm unstoppable, and that has, you know, really helped me in some tough times. Okay, for relaxing, see, I'm a person, I find it really hard to relax. I am actually constantly stressed because I always have a million things going on. But I don't know, there's a part of my personality where I think I actually secretly love stress. Like, I love the thought of like having to do a lot of things. Then, you know, when I go on a holiday and like I fully relax, then I'm kind of like, oh, like, geez, I needed this. So I guess I could say that probably one of my weaknesses is actually relaxing. So I was at the beginning of the year like having a lot of trouble with relaxing, like actually genuinely having trouble with it. So I went, oh, by the way, I'm about to paint this purple. So I went to this amazing physiotherapist, and she basically taught me how to meditate, and I started doing it every night for about 2 weeks, and it actually made such a difference. So what I'd do is I'd put on Spotify and I'd type in rain sounds, and basically I would meditate and I'd breathe in for 4, hold for 4, then breathe out for 7. And when I first started doing that, I actually couldn't breathe in and hold and then breathe out fully for 7. Like, I can only breathe out to about 3. Like, that's how uptight I was. And so she basically said, like, this is your homework. Like, you have to be able to breathe and switch off, okay? So I worked on it, and it took me about 2 weeks, and now I can like definitely do it, obviously, because I've been practicing. But yeah, I have to say that's probably one thing that really switched me off and actually just like really helped me personally get through a few things that I was going through. What else do I do to relax? Oh, I have a sausage dog, Romeo, and literally he makes my day. Like, he actually makes my day. Every morning, every night, Romeo makes my day. I don't know if people like the thought of the fact that like I actually go to bed with Romeo. Like, he snuggles me to sleep, but he is seriously the cutest dog ever. Like, we actually, you know, when you just have a connection with your dog, like me and Romeo actually do. We're connected on some level, I'm not sure, but he's actually like a human. So I love Romeo, so he makes me really happy. I'm trying to take more holidays in 1 year. I think something I'm working on. I think at the beginning of the year, I need to kind of set aside dates where I'm actually going to take off, because sometimes, you know how you just don't plan a holiday and then you just kind of keep rolling on. It's sort of like the way I am at the moment. So I'm trying to just, you know, find time for myself and take time off. Oh, this point shoe, by the way, is so cool. Look at it. Okay, now the next topic that I can talk about is, oh, okay, this is a good one. I feel like people are going to find this really funny. So it's basically talk about your best / funniest experiences with the Royal Ballet or performance mishaps that have gone wrong. Oh, I actually have 2, and I don't think I've shared these online yet, so it'd actually be kind of funny to talk about it. So this is red, by the way. Ooh. So we're on tour and we're performing Don Quixote. Oh, and I'm painting my shoe red. That's so funny. And basically, this famous ballerina in the Royal Ballet, she comes out, does her entrance. You know Enquiries entrance, how it's like really famous. So she's dancing, and then the music comes on, ready for Basilio to enter. And obviously, that's another famous part of the ballet too, where he does his entrance, and then they come together and they do a little bit of partner work. And so she's done her entrance, blah de blah. Anyway, then the music comes on like da da dun dun dun, like when Basilio's meant to enter, and he wasn't there. And we were on tour, and I have to say that on tour, it's obviously different to the Opera House. Like, when you're performing at the Royal Opera House, things just can't go wrong because people pay a lot of money to sit in those seats, and it just can't go wrong, and there's a lot of pressure in that situation. When you're on tour, there's obviously the same amount of pressure, but because you're in like a total new environment, then I always found that dance is like a little bit more relaxed. Like, that's just how it was. He forgot to enter. He missed his entrance, and one of my friends, I wish I could say who it was, but he's such a legend. Anyway, one of my friends, he did it. He literally was in his character shoes, and he partnered this famous ballerina, and he did the whole entrance with her and the whole partner section too. Oh, it was just brilliant. And I'll never forget that. Like, I think that was probably one of my highlights and funniest moments that I've ever witnessed on stage. Then another thing that happened, oh, that's right. So sorry, that's Simona. As I said, Simona, my PA. So she's like constantly messaging me like, Claudia, you got to do this, you got to do that. Okay, and another funny story. So we were performing Swan Lake, and at this point in time, I was actually in my 3rd year at the Royal Ballet School. So I was still a student, but because I'd been accepted into the company, they wanted me to participate in some of the performances and all of that. So yeah, basically we got asked to do Swan Lake and all was good. We were backstage getting ready, and anyway, all of a sudden, I don't know how this happened, and it didn't happen to me personally, it happened to my friend, but I just witnessed the whole situation, which was just crazy. And she's actually a part of the Royal Ballet now. We were sitting in the dressing room anyway, and then we decided to turn on the TV because there's TVs in every dressing room, and we turn it on. All of a sudden we realize that the entrance of the Swans, which once again is one of the most famous pieces of all time, is playing. It was literally playing, like she'd missed the entrance again. And I will never forget that. She literally ran down, put her shoes on, I don't think she had any makeup on, put the headpiece on, and literally ran on stage and joined in. And I honestly just don't know how she did that, but honestly, I wish I could say just shout out to you. You know who you are. You were amazing. And she held her own. Like, it was literally incredible. At this point in time, we were students. So, and I don't think she'd got her contract yet because she went to another company and then, you know, joined the Royal Ballet after. So it was just totally stressful. And things like that happen. It's not all smooth sailing. A lot of the time things do go wrong, and that's part of showbiz, as they say. You know, good things happen, bad things happen. And I guess it just shows, it depends how well you recover from things. And as I said, she was amazing and she held her own, and I actually don't think they even noticed. So I think the ballet mistress noticed, obviously, because the ballet mistress is just watching the quarter ballet, but I don't think anyone else did. So let me see if there's another topic. Everyone wants to know about the Royal Ballet. I noticed like a lot of questions that come in. It says like, tell me the day in life at the Royal Ballet. Someone's asked, I want you to talk about how you deal with other girls that were once your friend and now they ignore you simply because you're getting attention and compliments from a ballet master. I mean, that's sad, but unfortunately ballet, it's highly competitive. So this is why I always recommend dancers to have, you know, friends outside of the studio, or, you know, have your school friends. Just almost live as much of a normal life as you can, I guess, outside of the studio, because when you think about it, if your friends are just from dancing and then you go to dancing and you see them again and it's just like repeat, if something happens, it can really affect you. Obviously that sounds like jealousy to me, and jealousy is a very natural human trait. I think a lot of people get jealous, and unfortunately sometimes that can bring a really dark side out of people. But I think if you're really concerned about her ignoring you, then obviously if she's, you know, a true friend or someone that genuinely supports you, they're not going to act that way. So you can call them out on it. You know, if one of my best friends, you know, was acting a type of way that I felt like didn't support me, I would immediately bring it up, because that's the type of person that I am. I want things sort of sorted immediately. I don't like letting things drag out, because I just think life's too short to, you know, have negative energy in the air. So I always just say, you know, sometimes best just to speak to the person, address the issue, and then move forward from there. There's no point holding grudges or being angry. This point shoot literally looks amazing as well. So cool. Yeah, but there's no point holding grudges, because as I said, life's too short. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and you just have to try and surround yourself with people that only support you. And that's really what I've done with my life too. You know, I might not have like 400 friends, but at the same time, I know that the people that are around me genuinely support what I'm trying to do. And that's, for me, the most important thing. I hope you all loved this video. I have to say, I really enjoyed this. It literally was a chit chat, get point painting with me. So look, here's my point shoes. So here's the red, there's the black. The black one's really obvious that I've missed a few spots, so don't judge me on that. There's the aqua, and there's the hot pink and purple. I just think these are brilliant. Well done. So you can purchase these from block.com.au or Block in store. And as I said, these are Block point shoes, my favorite, the only point shoes that I love. And I think if you have any performances where you have to paint your shoes for a specific character, or you need them for something else, then honestly go for this point shoe paint, because you know the biggest thing with painting your point shoes and calamining them and turning them into different colors is that they can lose their shape, which can be very annoying as a dancer, because I always found with calamine lotion a lot of the time when I'd put it on, actually it would make my shoes kind of pull back, which I never really liked, so I converted to rosin. But you know, once again, if we ever had to paint our shoes, it makes them so stiff too. So this is just super easy, and I just think it was really effective. I love them. I hope you all love this video. Once again, thank you all for supporting my channel, and I will tune in with you all very, very soon. Big love. Bye.